Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. I'm very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down. No touching. I don't do the touching. Welcome to the dceu Extra. Welcome back to Big Mouth. You can continue the conversation with me over on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And before I read the article from the Hollywood Reporter that I found, where it kind of describes who Maxwell Lord is. Now, I know what he does in the film and what kind of character he's going to be, but you don't, and you may not know much about Maxwell Lord's history within the comics. So we're going to read the article out. Something I forgot to mention in today's DCEU Daily, which you can find on my homepage. It's uploading right now, but probably already uploaded, so you can check that out, is two things. In the Joker, when Arthur Fleck climbs into the refrigerator, that was all improvised by Joaquin Phoenix. Absolutely brilliant. Even the director, everyone around the set was shocked. But they said because everything was lit and there were cameras all around, he could pretty much go where he wanted. So brilliant. But this is what happens when you get an actor, on the level of Joaquin Phoenix. Also, the character of Sophie, played by Zazie Beetz. It's kind of, we didn't really know after he's in the flat, her apartment, should I say, and it turns out he imagined their relationship, and she goes, "You're in the wrong apartment." He walks out and we hear a siren. According to someone within the production, he did not kill her. This is what they said. They said Arthur only killed people who did him wrong. And Sophie never did anything to him, so he didn't kill her. Now, I'm very interested why they've come out and say that. Now, I'd rather them not say anything. I actually would have liked to assume that he did kill her. It just makes the menace of the character even more. It's interesting. Is it because of some of the accusations that have been laid down at the movie? Is it because Sophie is a woman of colour? I don't know. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Now, let's find out a little bit more about Maxwell Lord, who will be played by Pedro Pascal, a great actor in Wonder Woman 1984. Wonder Woman 1984, who is Maxwell Lord? While there's speculation Pedro Pascal is playing a villain, it's possible he won't turn out to be as bad as fans expect. Right, the only thing I'm going to tell you about Pedro's performance as Maxwell Lord is very, very charming. That's all I'm going to say. So, Patty Jenkins, director of next year's Wonder Woman 1984, took to Twitter Thursday morning to seemingly confirm previous teases that Pedro Pascal's character in the movie will indeed be businessman Maxwell Lord, likely delighting comic book fans across the internet. For everyone else, there's a simple question. Who is Maxwell Lord? Unexpectedly, the answer isn't quite as simple as it might seem. It is to me. Lord debuted in 1987's Justice League #1, the creation of Keith Giffen, J.M. DeMatteis and Kevin Maguire. Across the first year of the fan-favourite series, Lord was portrayed as a sleazy, if charming, businessman with a secret who was working to assemble a new Justice League together for mysterious ends. At the end of that year, the series offered a dual revelation. Lord has been manipulated by a villainous artificial intelligence to this point, but he's at heart a good guy who actually believes in what the League stands for. He turns on the AI despite the danger to himself and is accepted into the League after the Martian Manhunter reads his mind and discovers no true malicious intent. This last point is in the long run important. In the years following his introduction, Lord would prove to be one of the central figures in Justice League mythology as essentially the manager of the team. He's the one who pushed for the group to align itself with the United Nations, transforming it from the Justice League of America to Justice League International, and the character who acted as the human voice of reason as the property transformed into a successful sitcom with occasional moments of superhuman melodrama. When the character is the victim of an assassination attempt, the team falls apart via a 16-issue story aptly called Breakdowns. To underscore just how important he's become, he may just have been a super yuppie with ambitions of greater things, but Maxwell Lord was one of the good guys. He was, as it happened, literally a super yuppie. It's revealed at one point that he actually has the superpower of nudging people into action via a low-level telepathic ability that, of course, he takes pains not to abuse, underscoring once again that despite his yuppie failings, Max is a good guy. That lasted until 2005, when Lord went through one of the more abrupt character rewrites in superhero comics. A field, that's a field as a field, having a picnic in a field, and then field as in filled up, with unlikely and unconvincing retcons and rewrites at the end of Countdown to Infinite Crisis #1, a much-hyped special issue setting up then future of the comic book DC universe. Max Lord is revealed to be a master villain who has been subverting a spy organization in an attempt to save the world from superheroes, a revelation punctuated by Lord shooting one of his best friends from the Justice League days in the head in order to keep his villainous intent secret. So much for many stories in the past where Lord being a good guy was the entire point. Maxwell Lord co-creator DeMatteis tweeted that he was upset at the character turned, noting it didn't fit in our vision of the character, although he added that we're all playing in the same sandbox and twisting and turning each other's characters. If you really love our version of Max, he's still out there in our stories, which you can read anytime. Exactly, and that goes for films as well, doesn't it? From 2005 onwards, Lord was a villain with his telepathic ability ramped up to the point where he could mind control Superman into attacking allies by convincing him that his allies were in fact his most deadly enemies. To end his threat, Wonder Woman kills him, an event that is televised internationally due to Lord's machinations, further harming humanity's faith in superheroes. Years later, Lord was resurrected, and again, his telepathic abilities were amplified so that he managed to literally make the world forget he existed, so he could carry on his nefarious plans in secret. He would again in 2016 as the main villain of the Justice League vs. Suicide Squad comic book miniseries. The retcon that Lord is a bad guy was so successful that it stuck with the character outside of comics. He's shown up in animated Justice League animated series as well as Smallville and Supergirl, in each case as an antagonist out for his own aims. The more moral, if occasionally jerk-life Lord of the 1980s and 90s has, it seems, been left in the past. Or has it? I'm not telling you. Which incarnation of Maxwell Lord is going to show up in Wonder Woman 1984? Common sense would assume it's the villainous version. Not only has that been the primary Lord over the past decade, plus it's also the one that has the most concrete connection with Wonder Woman herself. Yet it's not impossible that Jenkins is purposely playing with expectations. Her tweet uses an image of the character from the Justice League International series before he turned evil. And the 1980s was when the character was a genuine friend to superheroes around the world. Could it be possible that Max will turn out to be more trustworthy to Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman than people expect? By the time the movie's over, audiences will find out next summer, with Wonder Woman 1984 set to release June the 5th, 2020. Wow, 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 wow. Great article, by the way. Now, what I can tell you is there's elements of the version of the character I just read out there who are absolutely in Wonder Woman 1984. I would say expect an ambivalent, I can't even say the word. I'm not going to say that word again because I can't say some words. But anyway, right, it basically expect a balance of the two versions that you've seen. And as I said in today's DCEU Daily, yes. Be very excited. If you're a fan of the character, be excited. If you're not a fan of the character, he's I would call him a toned down Luthor, I suppose. That's the way I look at him. He's a very, very interesting character. And it is interesting within the comics that he started off as a good guy, then became this major villain. So are you excited to see Maxwell Lord in Wonder Woman 1984? I was very pleased with what I saw in the test screening, and I can't wait to be able to talk about this film. Not just Maxwell Lord, the Steve Trevor situation, that Flashpoint thing as well. There's so many things to talk about and discuss. Don't forget, December the 8th, we are going to see a trailer. I can't wait to see the trailer. I will do a reaction here on Big Mouth as well. So keep tuned here because this is the best place to find out about DC movies. I'll see you later.